Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Today we are going to do a burnt marshmallow ice cream. So I'm going to start out by making a fairly simple ice cream batter. This is technically a frozen custard. Into our pot over sort of a medium heat, I'm going to put 2 cups of heavy cream, and that's 35% cream. 1 cup of milk, and this is 3.25% milk. And this is dry milk powder, and I'm going to put that in as well. Now, one of the problems with homemade ice cream is often you end up with something that isn't as nice and smooth as store-bought ice cream. And there's a couple of reasons for that. There's a couple of things that they use in store-bought ice cream that give that smoother texture that a lot of people aren't going to use in their home kitchen. But you can take steps with stuff that you have at home to sort of get a better product. And one of those is that dry milk powder. It increases the milk solids without adding water, and that water adds to ice crystals, and you're trying to avoid that. The second thing is an invert sugar. Now I'm going to use corn syrup, and this is not high fructose corn syrup. That's a different animal altogether, related but different. This is just an invert sugar. So you could use glucose, and only a couple tablespoons is going to get you where you want to be. And that again helps stop the formation of ice crystals during the freezing process, which is going to give you a much smoother ice cream. And so we'll just stir that together to dissolve the milk powder. And you just want to heat this until you've scalded the milk. You don't want to boil it, but you want to bring it up close to that boiling temperature. And next up we have egg yolks. Now we don't use any egg whites in this recipe. We have several recipes on the channel that use up the egg whites, and most of them are absolutely amazing. So to the egg yolks I'm going to add some sugar, and this is just regular old white table sugar. And we just want to whisk those together. Once the color lightens up and the texture gets a lot smoother, you've whisked them enough. And I think we're just about there. Okay. So now I have some mini marshmallows, and I'm going to put those out onto a baking tray. Now, depending on your comfort level, you can slip this into an oven under the broiler, keep an eye on it, and toast them just toasty. If you like them a little bit darker, if you're that person who puts your marshmallow all the way into the fire until it catches fire, and you want that flavor in your ice cream, you can also use a kitchen torch. Be careful. And maybe use a baking tray that you don't mind getting a little bit of char on. Take your time, you don't have to do it too quickly. Just keep it moving around. And stop when you've reached where you want to be. And yes, I'm that person who puts the marshmallow right into the fire and gets it burnt on the end. So I think I've reached a good point. Just make sure it's not on fire. We're good to go. Now, this should be just about up to temperature. It is just about up to temperature. So we need to temper our egg yolks, which means slowly whisk in a little bit of the hot milk and cream, whisking furiously, and then a little bit more. And the idea is that you want to bring the eggs up to temperature without cooking them or causing them to curdle. And once you reach a certain point, we're good. Okay, we're good. So now we can pour this back into the pot and whisk it in. Okay, so this is all back into the pot. Now we want to continue heating this and stirring it until it reaches 170 degrees Fahrenheit, or until it starts to thicken and it coats the back of a spoon. By temperature really is the way to do this. Then you're sure that you've reached that custard stage that you're looking for. At this point, we also want to put the marshmallows in and let them dissolve into the custard. So, in they go. And as the milk heats up, these will completely dissolve into the mixture. Okay, everything is dissolved nicely. Let's check the temperature. Okay, we got it to 180, so we're fine. A little bit over, doesn't matter. Still, as long as you reach that 170 degrees, you're fine. Now, I'm going to pour this back into this jug. The idea is you want to cool this down as quickly as possible, either in an ice bath, a bain-marie, and then put it in the fridge and let it chill completely. The more you let it chill before you put it into your ice cream freezer, the better your results are going to be with having a nice creamy texture. Okay, so see you back here in a couple hours. Okay, this is thoroughly chilled. Now you could leave it in the fridge overnight, 24 hours if you wanted to. That would be best. The ice cream maker is chilled down as well. And I guess at this point, it just depends what ice cream maker you have. You don't need a fancy one like this that has the compressor inside. The ones where you freeze the bowl in the freezer, I've got a bunch of those. They work great as well. You just want to stir this up a little bit, just to ease the custard so that when you pour it in, it isn't all lumpy. And in we go. Okay, put the lid on and let this go. This is going to be so good. This really is going to be so good. Woo. Now, like almost all home ice cream makers, you need to stick this in the freezer to firm up. It's pretty much at this point almost like a soft serve. And you could eat it this way if you wanted to, but it is better if you put it in the freezer to firm. So I've got a glass bowl here that's been in the freezer pre-chilling so that you don't melt the ice cream when you put it into a warm bowl. And you just transfer everything over. Now, one of the things about this machine that I really don't like, and it's a little bit nitpicky, is it can be difficult to get the ice cream out. There's a post down the center that the dasher rotates around. And the ones that don't have that post down the center are, in my opinion, just so much easier to operate and get the ice cream out. So this is going to go into the freezer for, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours before we serve it. See you in a couple seconds. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Glenn. Hey, friends. Ice cream. I know.
Looking forward to this one.
I seem to yell it every time there's ice cream.
Okay.
As I've said before, I'm sure, I have learned you cannot actually live on ice cream and cookies, but if you could, I would.
You can try. Okay, this one. Oh.
There's something super sweet. I get that caramel, but then I get that caramelized flavor sugar first, and then I realize there's marshmallow in it.
Yeah.
How'd you get the marshmallow to be so...
I burnt it. I took a torch and I set it on fire. And then I dissolved it in the milk mixture.
Okay, so that's how you broke down the marshmallows. Like,
Yeah.
there's no chunks of marshmallows.
No. So it's doing two things for us. It's giving us that flavor, but also by the nature of what's in a marshmallow, gelatin and an invert sugar and all of those other things, it's making the ice cream super creamy. Like it's the texture of the ice cream is incredible. Okay, so
I'm just gonna sit here and smile.
yeah. So if you watch the black pepper ice cream from earlier, that had a great flavor that wanted me to have more, but I knew that I couldn't because it was making, it starts to sting.
You would have a limit to what you would be. You wouldn't eat that over and over and over again.
This, I could shovel this into my mouth until I was actually physically sick. And that could be a problem.
Yes, eating anything until you're physically sick is never a good plan.
Okay, so this is an amazing ice cream flavor and an amazing ice cream texture. Please give this one a try. Thanks for stopping by. Stay safe. See you again soon.